Extreme Trends presents Powerball winners use 300 million jackpot to help their town. Before we begin, do us a favor and click that like button. Also subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell to be inspired by these heartwarming stories every day. Have you ever dreamt about the things you'd do if you were given a large sum of money? Some people would take extravagant trips, while others would pay off their debts and invest wisely. Every single person dreams of the day when a large amount of money drops into their lap, allowing them to quit their job, buy a boat, and sail into the setting sun. Unfortunately, this never happens for most people. This story is about a family that won a lottery jackpot of $300 million. But what they did with their winnings would shock their friends, family, and neighbors. Mark and Cindy Hill were just like other people. They knew that they would most likely not win the lottery, but they liked playing anyways. The Hill family lived in a small town in Missouri called Camden Point. The town only had 500 residents, which means that it was the type of town where everyone knew everyone else's business. Luckily, the Hills had the reputation of being modest, decent people. Mark and Cindy's 3 older children moved out on their own in 2012. But the couple wanted another child, so they decided to adopt a little girl from China. And even though Mark was working in a meat processing plant, the couple was facing hard times because Cindy had lost her job. Even though the Hills may have been modest, they still couldn't ignore how high the lottery prize was getting. They began to really take notice of the Powerball advertisements. After all, it was extremely difficult to ignore the huge billboard declaring how much money was in the Powerball. The lottery eventually reached $587.5 million, and that's when they decided to try their luck. Cindy went to the gas station and bought 5 lottery tickets. She didn't believe that picking certain numbers would help their odds, so she let the computer pick her numbers out for her. It was in fate's hands now. The couple understood that their chances of winning were slim to none, but it was still fun to watch the drawing, knowing that they still had a stake in the money. As the announcer started to draw the balls, the couple was amused to see that some of their numbers matched. That's when things got pretty intense in the Hills' house. The Hills watched as their numbers continued to match the numbers that were being called on the TV, and then it was over. The Hills won the Powerball, and they knew that their lives were about to change forever. The Hills ended up walking away with $300 million. Now they were the talk of the town, and it seemed like everyone they spoke to wanted to know the same thing. What were they going to do with the money? Money truly changes people, and some people allow it to bring out the negative in them. Would Mark and Cindy allow the money to change who they were as people, or would they use the money to show who they really were as people? The whole community would soon see who the Hills really were. Unfortunately, many people who strike it rich tend to change for the worst. A lot of big winners spend their earnings on mansions and sports cars, and others decide to spend all of their money in a short amount of time, causing them to go into even more debt than they were in before. Callie Rogers was one of those people who blew their lottery winnings in a short amount of time. This 16-year-old girl spent her fortune on shopping trips, cosmetic surgery, and long nights out, partying until the wee hours of the morning. It took a very short amount of time for Callie's bank account to be completely emptied out. The Hills took their time to think about what they were going to spend their newfound fortune on. They didn't need a lavish lifestyle, that was for sure, but what were they going to do? As they thought about using their money to help other people, they enjoyed a bit of their money. Hopefully the couple wouldn't do what Evelyn Adams did with her money. Instead of putting her money to good use, this 2-time lottery winner wasted all of her money in the casinos of Las Vegas and Atlantic City. $5 million and a gambling addiction later, she's living in a trailer. Luckily, the Hills had much better sense than that. Now that the Hills didn't have to work, they had some dreams to follow. Cindy wanted to use some of the money to travel around the world with her family. We want to go back to China, Ireland of course, we're Irish, and wherever the wind takes us, she explained. Mark had plans of his own for a small amount of money as well. His current truck was in pretty poor condition, so he decided to buy himself a new truck. Then the couple decided it was time to put the money to good use. They began to think about Mark's dad. Over the past few years, Mark's dad was saved by emergency rescue workers. Mark knew that he could never repay the firefighters and EMTs that saved his dad's life, but he could certainly help make their jobs a bit easier. So Mark set up a meeting with the police chief. Mark and Cindy decided to meet up with their old high school friend, Walt Stubbs, who just so happened to be the fire chief. Walt was blown away when the couple explained to him that they wanted to share some of their winnings with the fire department. Walt began thinking about new equipment, or if they were lucky, a new truck, but Mark and Cindy had something else in mind. Mark and Cindy announced that they had something much bigger planned for the fire department. The Hills wanted to build a brand new firehouse. You see, the firehouse that they were currently using was quite a distance from the main roads, which could be a liability in an emergency situation. The new firehouse was going to be right next to the highway, making it easier for the firefighters to get where they needed to go. The new building would also have plenty of new much-needed upgrades. The garage would have more space for the emergency vehicles, and there would be living quarters for the employees that were pulling long shifts. Everyone realized that Cindy and Mark were going above and beyond anything that could have been expected of them, but there was more. The Hills decided that they wanted to help the community in other ways as well. They were able to pay for a new baseball field for the little ones that was further away from the busy roads. They were also able to build a new sewage treatment plant for their community. Cindy and Mark also decided that they should give back to their old high school, North Platte High School. The couple knew that the children deserved to have a good future, but they understood that money was definitely an issue for most of them, so they set up a scholarship fund for the students. The entire Camden Point community celebrated the generous donations from the Hills. What the Hills did would have taken the town 25 years to come up with the money to get done. "I've said all along that these lottery winnings could not have gone to a better couple," said Mayor Kevin Boydston. There were no more doubts about the Hills being able to stay grounded after winning their fortune. Because of Cindy and Mark, everyone in the town had something to celebrate. Because of their generous donations, the whole town felt wealthy as well. Mark and Cindy knew that they had the opportunity to make a difference in their community. So that's exactly what they did. Mark and Cindy really showed off their incredible generosity when they won the lottery. Our hats go off to this inspirational couple, and hopefully their giving spirit encouraged many others to do what they can to help as well. You don't have to win the lottery to make a difference. You could help organize a community garden, read to the elderly, take shelter dogs for a walk, or become a big brother/sister. There are plenty of people that need help in this world, but definitely not enough people willing to help. If you want to help make a difference in someone's life, then start today. Thanks for watching. If you want to fill your day with more kindness, tap one of the 2 videos on your screen.